Welcome to Vsb News Online. For Wednesday, March the 4th, I'm Gina Thomas. The difference between dealing with the business-friendly OBA government after dealing with the former PLP government is like night and day. This was the view impounded by James Lee, Global CEO of EFG Asset Management Services, to Vsb News after he had announced his company's intentions to expand its business in Bermuda and hire Bermudians to help them do it.
I've been coming to Bermuda since 2006. We've owned a company here, which was an exempt company, so we could not market to Bermudians. And I found this jurisdiction very good jurisdiction, very clean in terms of process and governance. We have businesses obviously in other islands, but coming to Bermuda, it's a good environment in terms of governance. Transport links are very good. It's important because we travel a lot. Transport links to Europe and to the US are very good. And recently, with the change in the government outlook, we were able to apply for a 129A license, which allowed us to expand our business here. On the basis of that, we said, let's work in Bermuda, let's hire locals, build a presence here, as opposed to having people overseas coming in, build a presence here and work with local insurance companies, high net worth individuals, bring our expertise here and try and bring some value to the investors here, hence today's presentation at Rotary Club. So it's really, it's a vote of confidence really in doing this. As I said, we've been here since 2006 and we haven't been able to do it until recently, so we're very glad we can do it now.
Have you had a chance to talk to our government?
No, obviously during the application process we did. The process was smooth. They made us very welcome. So it was very quick. It wasn't too difficult. So I haven't spoken to government, no.
Does this enable you to expand into the world with a great deal more confidence and reputation?
Well, we're in many countries already overseas. But we would like to be able to bring what we do very well overseas to Bermuda, and also and then start building a base here, and start attracting more investors into Bermuda here. So it's a vote of confidence. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to go yet, but we've just started, and today we've been made very welcome. Every time we've been somewhere and called on prospects, and people said, "I'm so glad you've come. It's something new. Let's try it."
New Education Minister Wayne Scott had his baptism by fire in Parliament today when he led off the 4-hour debate on the $127 million annual budget of the Ministry of Education. He used a portion of his speech to explain what was going on about the absence of a Commissioner of Education.
The focus on transformation that the Department of Education is deploying is a threefold learning organization model that maintains transforming sections, increasing engagements, and redefining roles. All three components are captured through the descriptive accounts in the budget brief. Mr. Chairman, the Department of Education is headed by the Commissioner of Education. This post has been vacant since the departure of the former commissioner in April of 2014. The Board of Education has the legislative responsibility to hire a commissioner. The recruitment process has taken longer than expected, but it is anticipated that a commissioner will be in place by the start of the 2015-2016 school year. However, Mr. Chairman, senior officers in the Department of Education continue to be committed to the vision of providing a first-class education of global standards so that our students reach their full potential. Hence, in this spirit of commitment to the vision, and also for the purpose of staff development and growth, senior officers have diligently worked together during the course of the school year to rotate and share the responsibility of ensuring that the Department of Education continues to function effectively from an operational perspective in the absence of a Commissioner of Education.
The annual auction and jumbo sale held this Saturday by the Bermuda National Trust at the Botanical Gardens, is the #1 fundraiser for the environmental charity, bringing in $75,000 last year despite the economic dark clouds, with preview days on Thursday and Friday.
We have done very well in the last few years at the auction, and the trust is very dependent on it these days because, as we all know, it's tough times, and this is a very important thing for us.
But it seems to touch people in a way that they do give up some of their precious belongings for you.
They certainly do. We have an antique cedar chair here this week that was given to us by a lady who was given it when she was born, and she is not young, by her godmother, who is long past. And so she gave that to us because she feels that she would like to contribute. We have a number of things like that that really are quite valuable and often have very high sentimental value that people are happy to give because they feel it's an important thing to keep supporting the trust, keeping Bermuda's heritage alive.
Definitely. And this is an auction, not a sale.
This is an auction. You can come and look at what we have from tomorrow morning until Friday lunchtime. And then on Saturday at 10 o'clock, we will start putting it up for sale. I would certainly like to put out a plug for people who are interested in very good value modern furniture, which we also have some of. If you want to furnish your condo or your first home, do please come and have a look, because a number of those things will go at a very, very reasonable price.
When you go around people's homes in Bermuda, modern and old, and say that's a lovely piece, they usually say, I got it at the National Trust auction.
Yes, well, we hope that everybody's going to think like that for Saturday.
Do tastes change? Do you find people give things away because they probably want to move on?
Absolutely. Yes, there would be a number of items here that will have come to us for exactly that reason. Very particular, it's china, things like that, nice dinner services, which are wonderful, but people find they don't use them maybe. But if you would like a nice dinner service, this is the place to get an absolute bargain.
Shadow Tourism Minister Zane De Silva was in a feisty mood when he brought up the salary of Bermuda Tourism Authority CEO Bill Henbury and compared it with the Premier, Governor, and Presidents of the United States.
We know that he's making $295 a year. We know that. We know he's getting $75,000 a year for housing allowance. What we don't know is what this 30% bonus is. Now, Mr. Speaker, hopefully that'll come out this week. But you know what, Mr. Speaker, even if that bonus is a minimum amount, do you know that the CEO of the Bermuda Tourism Authority makes more than the Premier, he'll make more than the Governor, and he'll even make more than the President of the United States. Now, Mr. Speaker, if we're going to pay one man more than our Premier, more than our Governor, more than the President of the United States, and the numbers fall in his first year, and he's still here, Mr. Speaker, you do the math on that one and explain to me if we're getting a bang for our buck.
And we'll be back with more news right after this.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
The collaboration between the Bermuda Institute of Ocean Sciences and the Bermuda branch of the HSBC Bank began the day the bank presented the Institute with a multi-million-dollar ocean-going research vessel. On Saturday, Chris Brown, head of compliance at HSBC Bermuda, will help judge the remarkable ROV Angelfish Challenge contest at the National Stadium, where 35 students will show off the robots they have created in the past 2 months.
We've been supporting BIOS for the past 8 years. Last year we had the Ocean Academy program, which was a huge success with over 1,000 primary and middle school students going through a wonderful program that JP and Caitlin delivered. And this year, I think taking a bit of a different direction with the remote operated vehicle competition, I think is a really positive development and something a little bit different, something a little bit exciting, and very much expresses our support for both the environment and for education.
Now, HSP is worldwide. I wonder how many islands in the chain have their own research vessel.
I don't think too many do. I mean, that's a really unique opportunity that we have here in Bermuda. But certainly on a global basis, we're very keen to strike these chords and to strike these themes in a way that makes sense in every local environment that we're operating in.
Are you pleased with this success?
Very much so. I'm really looking forward to Saturday. I mean, I've been privileged to be named as one of the judges, and I'm really looking forward to going up and seeing what has been produced here. The teams have been working on these since the new year, so that's a considerable investment in time. And I'm sure, as JP has described, that this is not going to be as straightforward as it may appear at first blush. So there's definitely an element of challenge, there's an element of competition, and we're very proud to be supporting this. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well done. Thank you very much. Any other plans up your sleeve?
Well, please stay tuned. We'll see what comes.
This month's 18th presentation of the annual Bermuda International Film Festival will fill the Liberty Theater with sound and light, but it will also present an unusual theme, as festival director Andrew Stoneham reveals.
I would have to say our opening night selection, 5 to 7, it made my top 10 list of 2014, so I'm looking forward to sharing it with everyone here.
We, I suppose, are one of the world's well-known film festivals. I mean, this is where you get to after 18 years. How does that benefit us? Do people recommend films to us?
Yes, certainly. We have the program is broken down to certain sections. So our short film selection is submitted to us from filmmakers from around the world. We, market and publicize our international short film competition, and we receive the submissions, and then our selection committee reviews them and picks them accordingly. And the same with the local content. We have a number of Bermudian filmmakers here who submit films, and the same process applies. And then in terms of the larger films, the World Cinema and the opening and the closing, we do get recommendations because we do have an international advisory board that are usually made up of mostly film critics, actually, currently the board is. And so they do make recommendations, and they have been to the film festival year after year, so they are familiar with the local audience.
Talk to me about the local contributors this year. That's always interesting.
We have 3 local films, if I'm not mistaken, showcased this year. Interesting, 2 of which are American filmmakers that came to the island and shot documentaries here. Fascinated by the Bermudian culture because, of course, it's a very interesting culture. One focuses on Johnny Barnes. It's told through the eyes of the children of who Johnny Barnes is and what he does. And then another is about an African educational system that is currently here in Bermuda, and it's starting to grow and become wider, and so it's a short documentary exploring the impact on the community. And then a third short film is from a local student, recent high school graduate, and it's a narrative film, a very poetic film. And of course, we're always happy to support our young people.
For the first time, the hatching of a baby kahal on Nonsuch Island has been filmed using equipment designed and installed for the Department of Conservation Services by J.P. Ruja of Look Bermuda. Vsb News, Brian Darby, provides the details.
The event took place this afternoon and has contributed to the news that the breeding population of the rare kahau has reached a new record high number of 112 breeding pairs, compared to 108 in 2014. And that's a long way from the 18 pairs in 1960 when the program began to save the bird from extinction. Solar energy was needed to power the camera using panels provided by Ascendant Group, while wireless internet access needed to stream a live video feed of the inside of the burrows was provided by Logic. The chick is currently being protected by its father. 7 other new pairs have laid eggs this January and are being watched. Brian Darby reporting for VSB News.
And now we turn to Earl Bazin with the latest from the sports desk.
Bermuda's record of giving up the most runs in a World Cup game has fallen. This after Australia scored 417 for 6 in 50 overs against Afghanistan earlier today, overtaking the Indian score against Bermuda. In the ICC Cricket World Cup, India scored 413 for 5 against Bermuda in Trinidad back in 2007. Mansfield produced a smash-and-grab performance last evening to snatch a 1-0 win at Newport thanks to substitute Reggie Lamb's late strike. Mansfield survived a host of heart-stopping moments in a match dominated by the home side, but winger Lamb was the hero when he swept home the winner in the 87th minute. Late in the game, Mansfield swept upfield and Lamb coolly converted a Callum Elders cross from close range to snatch all 3 points. Meanwhile, Nikki Wells was once again out of the Huddersfield team, nursing a shoulder injury as Bradford moved back into the Sky Bet Championship playoff places with an emphatic 4-1 win over mid-table Huddersfield. Following a weekend of intense First and Premier Division that has seen things become even tighter at the top of the Premier and First Division and even tighter at the bottom of the Premier Division. A total of 27 goals were scored over the week and weekend in the two divisions, with 12 goals coming in the Premier Division and 15 scored in the First Division. The Premier Division sees Somerset Trojans as the league leaders with 28 points, while the Dendytown Hornets are in second with 27 points. PHC Zebras are in third with 26 points. Caston Lewis from the Flanagan's Onions is the league leading goal scorer with 12 goals. Antoine Russell from Robin Hood has 11 goals, while Sequoia Robinson from PHC Zebras is in third with 7 goals. Shakir Smith from PHC Zebras and Angelo Simmons from the Dendytown Hornets both have 6 goals on the season, while Clay Darrell and Damon Ming from the Dendytown Hornets, Keishan Bean from North Village Rams, Shane Hollis from Hamilton Parish, Jesse Seymour from Southampton Rangers, and Liam Evans from Robin Hood all have 5 goals on the season. The First Division is currently being led by the Boulevard Blazers with 39 points, Devonshire Colts are in second with 37 points, and BAA are in third with 34 points. Ian Coke from the Boulevard Blazers leads the league in scoring with 19 goals. Lizandro Simon from the Devonshire Colts has found the back of the net 15 times, while Ty Vince Douglas from the Boulevard Blazers is in third with 14 goals, and Kyle Jones from the Devonshire Colts has 12 goals on the season. Tahira Butterfield and her Albany women's track and field teammates visited Boston University to take part in the BU's Last Chance track meet. Butterfield competed in the women's 60-meter and 200-meter races. In the 60-meter race, Butterfield finished second, crossing the line in a time of 7.73. And in the 200, Butterfield was 10th overall, clocking a time of 25.37. Kate Taplin and Tyler Lopes continue competing at the Valeroma Atlantic Tour in Portugal. Competing in the small tour 1.10-meter table A against the clock class, Taplin and Navantas finished 9th, clocking a clear round time of 62.96, while Lopes and Shakira finished 19th with a time of 60.40, and they had 4 penalty foul points. Tag O'Shaughnessy and his Bedford Academy rugby teammates welcomed Moseley to the Golington Road for the first game between the two sides in 3 years. A younger Moseley team showed real determination, but in the end it was Bedford that came out with a 29-0 win. Matthew Lejour competed at the Nor AM Cup skiing event in Vermont. Competing in the Nor AM Cup men's dual mongoose race, Lejour finished 30th. He also competed in the Nor AM Cup men's mongoose doubles, finishing 52nd with a score of 26-47. Noah Brown and his 24th-ranked Amherst College men's squash teammates dropped a closely contested match 5-4 to number 21-ranked Colby College in the consolation round of the MSCSA National Team Championships Summers Cup, hosted by Wesleyan University. On Court 1, Brown cruised to a 3-0 victory against Colby's William McBrien with scores of 11-4, 11-5, 13-11. I'm Earl Basden reporting for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for Thursday, March 5th, it will be partly cloudy. Winds will be southwesterly and moderate. We are expecting a high near 72 Fahrenheit and a low near 64 Fahrenheit. This weather forecast is courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. Thanks for watching VSB News Online for Wednesday, March 4th. I'm Gina Thomas.